What is up, guys? Back at ya once again and again. It is ya boys, Chin, that freaking Mark, and the diggity of the D's. We're here to bust a nut, but you already know that, don't you?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna start another wrestling show off with an in-ring promo. This time Paige makes her way down to the ring and was like, let's bring out Shane McMahon. Let's do a nice little photo op with him with this World Cup. And after that is announced, after many boos I might add. How many boos did you hear?
I heard all of the boos.
Yeah, for Shane McMahon, of all people.
Yeah, it was kind of weird seeing Shane McMahon get booed so hard, but...
And then we talk about Daniel Bryan being announced as the captain, and The Miz isn't too happy about that. So he comes out and he airs his grievances about it and says that he is 2/3 responsible for being the best in the world. So that means he and Shane McMahon are besties?
Diggity, mathematically speaking, he's got a point.
He does.
2/3 of that trophy is his.
2/3. So after some deliberation between the two, they say, hey, why don't we just make them both captains? So they're co-captains, and yeah.
So as we're coming back from our commercial break here, Daniel Bryan and The Miz are arguing because that is what they do best. And you know what? They're just like, we're gonna pick teams, we're gonna be respectful, we're not gonna be dicks about this. Miz is like, Shane, you're my boy, I'm picking you. And Shane's just like, I don't like how you're starting off being a dick about this. And Daniel Bryan's like, I kinda actually agree with what he's saying here. And all of a sudden Shane's like, okay, I accept, I'll do it now.
Yep.
It's not a dick move anymore.
So it's the first announced person on the Smackdown team.
Just to clarify, that's not any other sort of dick move that would be relevant to this scenario. Just a random
Not at all.
move of dickness.
Yeah.
So, what a night we have ourselves for some graps. I'll say that right off the bat. A match that I can never really complain about. The New Day versus the Usos. Just a spot fest up in this match.
Ooh.
They really just had a lot of things going on.
Woo.
You good?
Yeah, all those spots. I'm just
You feeling it?
I'm hot about it.
Oh.
I'm hot about it.
Hot about them spots. I mean, seriously, just so many things. One of the more comical ones right off the bat is Kofi just like hanging on the outside, just kind of being like, what's up, dude? You want some of that? And, you know, Xavier's just tromboning. Kofi's hanging there on the outside, just hypnotizing a said Uso with his pelvic motions, and Big E just comes from around the corner and just wails on the brother. It was kind of epic.
Yeah.
It was pretty sweet. There was actually a lot of really cool spots along the outside there. I remember at one point, Big E always makes me really nervous when he does the suicide dives. Seth Rollins, really clean suicide dives. Don't worry about him. Big E, it's not that they're not clean, it's just that I feel like once he starts doing a suicide dive, his weight proportion, the man's got some tits. Let's just gets a little uneven, and it just makes me nervous. Point being is that he took out an Uso, almost knocked him out on the table, but he didn't. Everything is all Gucci. Get back in the ring. Some awesome match continues to unfold, and then we got a splash from an Uso for the win.
1, 2, 3.
What happens after the match, Diggity?
Usos talk about how the Smackdown tag team division is the Usos and the New Day, and they've gone to hell and back together, and how they have so much respect for the New Day that they want them to be the first team announced on the Smackdown Tag Team Survivor Series team.
The team.
Next up, we have a backstage segment with The Miz on the phone talking about the Marine 6 plugging it some more, and how about he wants to plug it in everywhere. And he just, you know, in the conversation, whoever's talking to him says, nope, we want Becky. He's like, what? He gets mad about that. After that happens, Daniel Bryan comes up and says, hey, I know who I want for our next pick for the team for Survivor Series. I want Rey Mysterio. Miz tells him he's going to have to impress him tonight in his match against Cien. after that, they both decide, hey, let's have my pick and your pick later on tonight, whoever those might be, and let's have them face off in a good old wrestling match to compete for that last spot. It's really funny because they both are like staring at each other like
we're getting along,
but getting along and agree, and they're just like, yeah, this is weird.
They get lost in each other's eyes for a second.
They love each other is what they're trying to tell each other.
We got the most over superstar in the entire roster cutting a promo, that being Becky Lynch, talking about how she is the f***ing man.
Mm-hmm.
As she is, it is printed on her shirt, if you didn't notice.
Mm-hmm.
Really credible promo she's cutting here, talking about how are you gonna go and talk about how I chose to get my path to where I am. Like, I got here regardless, even if I wasn't supposed to be. You were handpicked, you spoiled little bitch.
Pretty much.
Speaking of bitches, she's just like, oh, you're the baddest bitch on the planet? Well, you're gonna be mine. Okay?
Oh, burn.
Pushing that PG, right?
Yep, just a little bit.
And all this foul language and whatnot gets Becky Lynch a little bit riled up there, and she's talking about how she needs herself a little bit of competition. Yeah, she's talking about how nobody back there has just got what it takes to finish her off. Becky Lynch gets thrown off a little bit because Sanity's music plays, and we have a reunited Sanity in their entirety. Nikki Cross comes out being completely bat crazy, as I always love, and then she talks about how if you want to play, they can play. So they continue to play after that.
Well, the match we didn't think we would be seeing anytime soon finally happens. And the match I didn't really think I needed to see, but I'm glad I saw it. Becky Lynch, Nikki Cross. It's a fun match. It's not very long. There's this fun little spot at the beginning where Nikki Cross is on the outside. Becky Lynch is trying to run at her. I think she's trying to do a baseball slide or something. And she just grabs the ring apron from under her and traps her in there, and she's like stuck. She just starts putting the beat down on her. It's a really fun spot there. It just leads up into just Nikki just being, you know, as he said earlier, bat crazy in the ring. And next thing you know, Becky Lynch gets to disarm her on her for the win. And Becky Lynch getting some heat building up to Survivor Series.
That was awesome. I just love Nikki Cross coming out and being crazy, so no complaints from this guy. The Miz is backstage, being too caught up with taking selfies of himself, and Daniel Bryan comes up and totally photobombs him. It was pretty fantastic. And that leads into them not getting along again, and being like, alright, so since we're going to have a wrestler that we have each picked here, and they're going to face one another, me, being Daniel Bryan, I want a nice face wrestler. I want Jeff Hardy.
Ooh.
It's a good pick for if you want a good old face wrestler. The Miz, being a big old heel there, is like, well, you know what? I'm a big old heel, so I'm gonna pick a big old heel, Samoa Joe.
Ooh.
That's a big old heel for you. Rey Mysterio versus Andrade Cien Almas. I don't even know where to begin with this match. It was flippy, it was Hurricane Rana-y, it was splashy, like it was lucha as fuck. Like it was just so good. Diggity and I were just like, do you think they're spot calling in Spanish right now? Si,
senor.
And then after Rey Mysterio had won said match, we have ourselves. I think you know what I think you know what it is by now.
It's the dick move, guys.
It's the dick move, guys.
You guys, tonight's dick move goes to Bo Bandy Orton.
Bo Bandy. Why, Diggity?
Well, you see, Rey Mysterio just got done winning his match, and he's got sour grapes from losing at Crown Jewel, if anybody caught that, and just gives Rey Mysterio an RKO, an undeserving RKO.
Where'd it come from?
I don't know where! Yeah, Randy Orton, f*** you. Next up, we have ourselves another in-ring promo, or segment, I should say, and it's Paige coming out to announce the Smackdown Women's Survivor Series team. It is announced as followed: Carmella, Naomi, Sonya Deville, Asuka, Charlotte? That's where the question mark comes in, guys, because Charlotte doesn't come out. But we have a Mandy Rose coming out who is very upset that she didn't get announced. But Sonya Deville did. She goes and talks a little bit of smack to everybody in the ring, and then she goes and talks a little bit of smack to Naomi, about some total divas BS, who cares. It pisses her off and they fight, and yeah, that's the end of that segment. Well, you guys, it's main event time. We have Jeff Hardy taking on Samoa Joe for that final spot on the Smackdown men's team at Survivor Series. It's a good old-fashioned wrestling match. Was it 2007 TNA? I don't know, but it was good. It was good. We had the classic Hardy spot where he likes to balance himself on the barricade on the outside and do a nice little clothesline splash, whatever he likes to do off of that, to Samoa Joe. A little bit later on in the match, Jeff Hardy gets the twist of fate in there, and then he goes for the swanton, but next thing you know, Samoa Joe gets the knees up, coquina clutch for the win, and now we have the final member going in to the Survivor Series Smackdown men's match. And then we have a nice little brawl on the outside between Samoa Joe and Daniel Bryan that leads into the ring, which leads to Miz getting hit, trying to separate everybody, which leads to Shane McMahon getting thrown on his ass, which leads to Daniel Bryan just kind of leaving because he's an angry person. He's angry right now at everybody. Well, and that's going to do it for this awesome episode of SmackDown, if you ask me. As always, I am Diggity D.
Chin, that freaking mark.
And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow. We'll see you next time.